Yo guys, what is up? Today I come to you with my first impression of Boku no Hero Academia Season 2. Now, I did not review Season 1 simply because I just wanted to be able to watch it for what it has, and I did enjoy Season 1. And I was asked by a few friends, why don't you try reviewing Season 2, see how you will like it from there. And I was contemplating whether to do it, like weighing my options, and eventually the side that wanted to review it has won, so here I am. And since I enjoyed the first season, I doubt I'm going to drop it anytime soon, but you never know, but I have high hopes that I won't drop this series because I'm liking the direction it's already going in. So this season will have 25 episodes and it's done by Studio Bones. And of course, this is the adapted form from the manga. I do not read the manga, so I do not know what's going on in the manga. I am an anime only, like most of you are. I do advise, like I do with most of my videos, if this is the anime form of, say, a novel or a manga or a video game or whatever the case is, do not spoil anything. I don't mind you talking about how does this relate to whatever chapter this was taken from, but do not spoil anything outside of that, anything above that, because it may just ruin it for some people. Some people don't like spoilers, like myself. So this first episode, they kind of, in the beginning, they kind of brought us back into the world that Boku no Hero Academia is all about, and kind of told us briefly on what season 1 entailed. If you watch season 1 ended with an epic battle between the Villains League. They introduced the Villains League and the heroes. Remember, they used the kids as bait to lure up All Might so they can kill him, but of course they lost, so it's heroes 1, villains 0. And of course this is from Deku's narrative, so he is talking to someone, or possibly us, we don't know who it is, but he's telling them his story of how he becomes the greatest hero. So while this is his past he's talking about, we are currently in his current time, if that actually makes sense, if he can make sense out of that. So we originally know that Deku is quirkless. They live in a world where something happened, something happened in China, and after that every person, at least 80% of the world, has acquired a quirk or a special trait, while the rest, who are normal like me and you and Deku at one point in the story, were quirkless. And of course Deku was hoping that once his powers start to manifest by the age of 4, he'll be able to, work on that quirk and someday become a great hero like All Might, the person he's been looking up to since he was a child. Of course, years later, something happens and it causes his best friend slash rival Kachan to get into the mix, and he throws himself into, harm's way, and All Might sees that and it's motivated by that, and because of that he decides to take Deku as his pupil, his successor, so that he can take all for one, which includes, inhumane strength and speed. There must be other qualities to it, but as the story goes on, we'll possibly get to see all of that. And of course, Deku is now a student at UA High School, where he is training and learning to become the new hero of tomorrow with other promising young heroes. So with the opening now, I enjoyed this opening. The ending, not so much. But the opening was very interesting because, of course, this arc, knowing that this is 25 episodes, so the first half of the season is going to be dedicated to this arc, the Cultural Festival arc. And if you watch many anime, especially School Life or Slice of Life, Cultural Festival is nothing new to the anime world. It's basically, students participating to get together, doing a lot of activities and whatnot, and doing food, and everybody comes, their family and friends. But in this world it's a little different. These students are to showcase their powers, their quirks, and also hopefully get sponsorship from pro heroes in order to become sidekicks, and then eventually, if they're really good enough, to become independent pro heroes themselves. So this is a huge event. It's almost like that of the Olympics, but possibly on a greater scale. So they're going to be focusing on at least on this first half of the series on this cultural festival. And within the episode, It was pretty, it was nothing out there. It was just pretty standard. But in this episode, we got some information on All Might. So we got his real name, because All Might is his hero name. And his name is Yoshinori Nagi, or Yagi. I may mix up the first name, but it's Yoshinori. And he sent a letter to his teacher telling him about how he found a successor and that he's going to train him to become a proper hero, and how he has admired his pupil. And of course, All Might, knowing that he got injured 5 years prior to where we are currently right now, his powers are decreasing. Before, in season 1, he was able to stay in his hero form for at least 3 hours. But now, after him using it constantly, as we've seen in season 1, and especially during his fight against Nobu, he could only stay for 50 minutes at max, and to maintain muscle mass is like an hour and a half. So his power overall is declining at a faster rate. So now we're going to see in this season where he's going to really push Deku to his limits, so that he can actually really use One for All, and that it can become part of him. Because remember, Deku, anytime he uses One for All, it causes his body to crumble. He's always left injured. So this season we'll see where, because now that All Might is losing his power at a faster rate, Deku is really going to have to take it up a notch, and he's going to have to take the torch from him a lot more quicker than necessary. So that was really what happened in this week's episode. Students are preparing for the cultural festival, and we heard the news about All Might, little news on him, what his real name is, and how he's doing with his powers. So, like I said before, I like the opening, but the opening kind of made us focus on several characters, specifically in Deku's class himself, Kachan, Uraraka, Ida, Todoroki, and Kirishima. Now, I'm guessing they're going to be the main focus in this cultural festival. I'm not too sure, but they really did focus on those characters. As well as in the opening, we saw 2 new characters who, like I said, is spoiler if you read the manga. If you read the manga, you know, but it's spoiler for us, so we have to wait till they introduce these characters. And at the end of the episode, if you stayed after credits, they showed a preview of this purple head dude. He looks pretty badass. So I cannot wait till they introduce to us these new characters, and we get to see what their quirks are and see how well they put up against, Deku and the rest of his classmates in this cultural festival. So I enjoyed this first episode. We got back into the world. They briefly told us of the world that Deku is living in, and we must be reminded that this is his story. He becomes the greatest hero after everything that is going to happen in this, and hopefully, if Studio Bones is willing, they do, the anime form of the manga, like, do multiple seasons if they can. And hopefully we can see in an anime form Deku as his adult self, and him speaking of this story to whoever he is speaking to. But I'm going to continue reviewing this series. So I really enjoyed the first episode. Everything was, it was playing along. The music and everything was pretty good. The soundtrack and everything. And it's good to see these characters once again. So if you guys saw the first episode of the second season of Boku no Hero Academia, do drop in the comment down below on how you felt about this week's episode. And what are you hoping for next week's episode? I want to hear from both manga and anime people, as well as the links are in the description box as always, so you guys go check that out. Also hit the like or dislike button, whichever one you choose, and also hit that subscribe button. I would really enjoy that as well. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye.